Hashtag there is no driver shortage. Hashtag pay them more. Special announcement to make. Pardon the thunderstorm outside. And hold on, let me stop this video. Special announcement is I will be working on a trucker app in public. We're doing an app in public for the trucking community. So what's happening in the trucking community is there's a high turnover rate, and it's because drivers are not happy. They're unsatisfied. They're not getting what they're promised. Trucking companies are not happy because they are not getting happy drivers. The turnover rate is high. Okay, this is why it's a good idea to script all your videos. What I mean, trucking companies are not happy because they're not getting drivers who, I don't know, they think would automatically know how and prioritize work ethic, a certain attitude, and good time management skills. Now, real quick, here's the issue. Don't tell nobody because this is part of my sauce. The reason I know that I can fix it. This is what I've been talking about for 15 years on the website. Matter of fact, back in the day, I think I posted it on LinkedIn anyway, but okay. It would benefit trucking companies if they taught these things proactively. If that was part of their orientation, now you don't have to hope and wonder and guess. You have instilled in them. You have helped them not only at your company, but improve their lives. A lot of people do not have this sort of training. They don't have that mindset. They're not looking at life this way. So suppose as part of your orientation to the company, you talked about life skills and attitude and not necessarily work ethic. Sure, work ethic, but a bigger picture. How looking at things a certain way improves your life in general. That's good. That shows you care more about them as a person, as a human, than just a number at your company. That shows that you are trying to use this as an opportunity to educate them for a higher quality of life, as opposed to here's how you can make me more money. Does that make sense? Don't worry, you don't have to do it. I'll do it. As they come into my system, I will give them orientation so that we know the people who come out on the other side, the drivers that come out on the other side of being a part of the trucking GPT next version has gone through this process. And just like anybody who's going through lifeasatrucker.com, they've been exposed to what it is to be a good truck driver and all of that during the process of learning about trucking. So I'm just going to put what I've been doing into the app as a way to provide orientation to drivers or trucking in general. And you could say life as well. You're welcome. But that's how come I know it's going to work. And by the way, for companies, you will get the same type of orientation. Think about it this way. And this is what I've been doing the whole time, basically. If I'm talking to the driver, I'm telling you how to be the best driver you can for the company. If I'm talking to company representatives, I'm telling you what's the best way you can be liked and appreciated by the driver. Again, all you have to do is for both people to look at it from the other person's perspective and figure out, how can I best serve in the capacity for what I'm going for. If I'm going to be a driver, how can I be an asset to the company? If I'm going to be a company, how can I help improve their drivers' lives? We got to be together anyway. We need to work as a cohesive team anyway. So what are the ways that we can do this that are most effective? Does that make sense? So I'm going to solve this problem by creating an app that will ask specific questions from drivers about what they want, what they desire, what they expect, what they need, and match that up with companies, finding out what companies have to offer, what they're looking for, what they have available now, and what they anticipate having in the future. And they're going to need to update the information. Now, here's the kicker. If a driver reports to a company to not deliver on what they claim they have available, they're out. You out the system because that defeats the whole purpose. The whole purpose is efficiency in matching the right driver with the right company. And if you are a trucking company and you're interested in being a part of this app, then sign up at the site so that we can get you in the app to be our first people and companies to experience it. The beta version, first access. You help form this thing. By the way, I've been running lifeasatrucker.com for ever since 2008. Website, YouTube channel, social media, Facebook, that's active, but it's been there and people congregate and see the material. But I focus on lifestyle. So I talk about mindset, attitude, health, being proactive, time management, money management to lower turnover rate, all you got to do is, for one, actually care about the drivers. Two, require your recruiters to be upfront and tell exactly what your company has to offer. Don't lie about how much the drivers can expect to get paid. Don't lie about how many miles they might run. Don't lie about the type of positions you have available. And so only hire the people who are compatible for what you have available. It's very simple, and care about the driver. They're not a number. I don't care how many drivers you got. Do what you need to do in order to be able to remember something about the drivers and make them understand. I mean, again, care about people. If the personal development is not there, then it's going to affect the way that you think. And the way that you think is going to play out in how you manage and supervise and interact with people. So if it's in trucking and it's a dispatcher, then, you don't care about treating people a certain way. That's going to be expressed in how you treat your driver. And for drivers, it's the same thing. Am I repeating this whole thing over? If you don't make it a point to stand out, to have good work ethic, treat the equipment like it's yours, interact with people, like even if you got a bad dispatcher, how is it going to benefit you to reflect the same energy? No, it best serves you to be unfazed, neutralize the situation, stay at a higher level. Sometimes you change that other person's attitude. Sometimes when you maintain your composure and you respond instead of react, you're like a mirror to them, and they get to see how ignorant they acting. I got so wrapped up, I forgot to mention that there is actually a GPT that I was working on last year to address this problem before I got distracted. TruckingJobGPT.com. And if you made it this far in the video, you're welcome to come on over, check it out, join the wait list, and you can get access to the GPT, play around with it. Also, I plan on editing the form so that you can click whether you're a company or a driver. And I'm just saying it that way in case when I click this video and get to editing this piece to put it in, I forget to get back to it. And if it's not fixed that way, so if you're a company, then make sure you put in that text box that you're a company and you would love to be a part of this beta program. Be careful what you wish for. I went from the air conditioner not working to feeling like an icicle. Sometimes you change that other person's attitude. Sometimes when you maintain your composure and you respond instead of react, you're like a mirror to them, and they get to see how ignorant they are. You have an opportunity. That's how you got to look at it. I have an opportunity to change that person's perspective and their way of interacting with others, because they need a huge upgrade. And, I'm not going to be bothered by it. You can't even take things personal, because guess what? It's this person's ignorance and deficiencies that you are experiencing. It's not a reflection of who you are. If if you're in the right and they're in the wrong, or if people got a problem with, a lot of times there's a situation that just is. And a lot of times people feel like my perspective is the correct perspective and that a person's perspective is the wrong one. That ain't even the case. I have an opinion. They have an opinion. Both of them are valid. In this particular circumstance, maybe one makes more sense depending on what the desired outcome is in the context of the situation. In another situation, the other one might make more sense. But each person got to allow enough space in their mind and to actually entertain the other person's perspective and figure out, and we can talk about this without shouting, without getting mad, without getting attitude. And we can converse with each other like mature adults and come to a conclusion on why we're going to do things this way or that way. But anyway, this was intended to be like a 3-minute announcement video when I kind of got long-winded. But maybe it gives you some idea of why I'm passionate about this project and how much work is going to go into it. Hashtag there is no driver shortage. Hashtag pay them more. Hashtag lower turnover. Hashtag theeasyanswer.com. Hashtag building public. Let's go.